Hello, and welcome back to the Asheville Vedic Astrology YouTube channel. My name is Fernando Raúl Castro Alvarez, and I am part of the Asheville Vedic Astrology 4-year apprenticeship course. And today, Brian has invited me here to talk to you guys about the planets corresponding to Sagittarius Ascendant or Dhanus Rashi Lagna. And in this video, we will be discussing the role of Jupiter for people who were born with a Sagittarius ascendant. So before we start, what does it mean to be born with a Sagittarius ascendant? Well, what that means is that whenever you were born at the east in the horizon, right there at the moment you were born, the sign that was ascending was Sagittarius. And this is very important for horoscopic astrology because without a time of birth, without an ascendant, we cannot have a lagna. We cannot anchor the chart to read it accordingly to the precepts of horoscopic astrology, or hora in Sanskrit, or jataka in Sanskrit, which means natal astrology. So that's what it means to have a Sagittarius ascendant. And as you can imagine, as some of you already know, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to have great importance for a Sagittarius Lagna chart, because Sagittarius rising is the body, the Lagna is the body, then the Lord of the Ascendant is the Lagnesha, is where the body is by the position of Jupiter in the chart. So Jupiter is going to have great significance because he is going to be a prime significator of self. Once again, the body is the Lagna, and the Lagnesha, or the Ascendant Lord, is where the body is positioned according to its location in the chart. So, what is Jupiter to start this video off? Well, Jupiter, first of all, is a male planet, is one of the 3 natural male planets in addition to the Sun and Mars in Vedic astrology. In addition to this, Jupiter is a benefic planet. Some people say he is the great benefic, although if you read Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, you will read that Parashara talks about Venus being the best benefic. But that's a debate we're not going to get into. But the idea is that Jupiter is a good benefic. And what do benefics do? They share the good and keep the bad. They won't bother everyone with their problems. They will be joyful, and they will try to help everyone no matter how they feel. Now, at the same time, Jupiter is the spiritual counselor in the planetary cabinet. Jupiter is the planet that will counsel the king, Surya Deva, or the sun, in terms of what the law of the land is, in terms of what the dogma of the land is, in terms of what the religious precepts say about what to do in certain situation. He is more or less like the priest or the pope or the Brahman that gives the sun its advice. And at the same time, in terms of caste or Varna, Jupiter is a Brahman. This means he is a teacher. He is a priest. He is the one that keeps the precepts of the law, which in Vedic culture are the Vedas. And in addition to this, Jupiter is of a sattvic predisposition. So this means he is natural. He naturally is. Although in the Bhagavad Gita, you will see that sattva is associated to harmony. What this harmony means is that a person simply is, however he or she naturally is. And finally, Jupiter is also of a Kapha predisposition. This is one of the doshas, which is of prime importance in Ayurveda, which is the Vedic discipline for medicine. And Kapha is basically a combination of water and earth. Imagine like a ball of mud, which would be like a metaphor to represent Kapha dosha. And Kapha dosha with Jupiter, what this entails is that Jupiter provides structure. It provides a base in order for other things to be built upon. It provides the base, the structure, the resources for other things to grow out of that. So if we were going to describe Jupiter on some keywords, these keywords would be growth, it would be optimism, it would be wisdom, it would also be philosophy and richness of all types. Now, as I said before, for a Sagittarius Lagna, Jupiter will rule both the first and the fourth house. So what's the first house? In Sanskrit, the first house is called Tanu Sthana, which means the place of the body. Sthana is place, Tanu is body. And this entails that the first house has a connotation of the body. But not only that, it's our self-projection. It's our constitution. And at the same time, it's the starting point from which all the rest of the areas of our life will be delineated. It's like that first step we take in this journey of life that our soul has chosen to incarnate in this world of ours. Okay? And what is the fourth house, the other house that Jupiter rules? Well, the fourth house is called Bandhu Sthana, and Bandhu Sthana represents the place of relation. Now, it's not necessarily interpersonal relationships because that has to do more with the seventh and also to a certain degree with the 11th. Here, and the fourth is our relation to our emotions. It's our relation to our heart. It's the relationship to our roots. And the fourth entails emotions, the psychological profile. It also entails real estate possessions like our house, our living place, whatever that is, a terrain, a house, and so on. And overall, it also represents our relationship to our parents, specifically the mother, from a Vedic astrology point of view. So we already know what Jupiter is. We already know what the first house is. We already know what the fourth house is. Now, how is this going to express itself for Sagittarius Lagna? Well, simply, we're going to see growth and optimism both in ourselves and our domestic and emotional life. We're always going to see our body as something that will progress, as something that will grow up, as something that will go through stages towards some sort of perfection. And at the same time, we're going to have the same outlook with our emotions. And this, in many ways, entails the cliche significations that modern astrology gives to Sagittarius, just like an archer throwing of an arrow towards a bullseye. It's the idea of going out to life with this idea of growth, with this idea of looking for adventure, for looking for the next thing with great optimism and philosophy and richness. In addition to this, we will also have a predisposition toward wisdom with our body and our emotions. Usually with the Sagittarius Lagna, we're going to take care of our body. We're going to take care of our appearance. We're going to take care of our projection, always from a wisdom point of view. Not necessarily from an aesthetic point of view. That would be more like a Venus thing. No, it's more like from the wisdom point of view. You know, I don't want to look beautiful, but I want to look healthy because that's wise. And if I want to look beautiful, it's because there's some precept of wisdom within that principle. At the same time, you know, I want to feel good, not because I want to feel good. I want to feel good because there is wisdom within that positive emotion. You know, there is wisdom within feeling positive within one's heart, because that will make me grow and feel more optimistic about myself. And at the same time, we're going to see a relationship with our parents like that. We're going to see that there is a relationship with our mother that entails certain growth, richness, philosophy, growth, and optimism that we are going to hold as a very important thing. At the same time, we're going to have some philosophy and richness in ourselves and in our path of life. Some people say, and I've heard this from other astrologers, that people who are born with either Sagittarius Lagna or Pisces Lagna are destined to do great things, to spread joy, mainly because Jupiter rules the body, mainly because Jupiter rules this idea of how our path of life is delineated, and being the spiritual counselor of the planetary cabinet, being a great benefic, being sattvic, being also of a kapha disposition, you know, this makes sense, okay? So now we're going to see how the houses are seen through the signs, because as I said, the first and the fourth are ruled by Jupiter, but there's a difference because the first house is Sagittarius and the fourth is Pisces. So we're going to see that the first house is seen through the filter of Sagittarius, which emphasizes purification and expansion of the self. At the same time, it emphasizes the spiritual development and the attainment of wisdom through the actions that we do in life. We have to remember that wherever Jupiter is located in the chart will entail where our body is. How is this emphasis of purification and expansion going to express itself? How is this spiritual development going to express itself? Well, if Jupiter is in the 10th, then we're going to express that through our career, our profession, our status, among others. If it's in the 6th, it's going to be through service, through work. It's going to be dealing with obstacles with a Jupiterian outlook. If it's in the 3rd, it's going to be with our ideas, with our communication, with our courage and our initiative, and so on and so forth, taking into consideration the significations of the houses. This is how you do astrology, people. You take one, you take another, you take another, you take another, and you build the significations, and then you let the person do the rest of the work. Now, the 4th is seen through the filter of Pisces, and this will be the filter of dissolution and realization through our emotions and an imaginative and mystic feeling to the things we feel and have within ourselves. You know, with Pisces, there is some sort of, mysticism associated to the things we feel. We might not be able to explain how we feel about certain things, but we understand it naturally. That said, we might not have the correct words to describe how we feel about our mom, or how we feel about where we live, or how we feel about our emotions, but we feel it and we understand it, even though we might have difficulty explaining it, right? Unless Jupiter is in a dignity, then we're going to be kind of able to do that. But this idea here is that there's a certain dissolution to where we live. There's a certain dissolution to how we feel. There's a certain dissolution to how we relate to our parents, specifically the mother, but from a Jupiterian jovial point of view. So there is positivity among this nebulous things that we might feel concerning the 4th. Now, where Jupiter is positioned and its dignity will determine how we manage these 4th house affairs. Now, taking into consideration the essential dignity of Jupiter, we have to consider its exaltation and debilitation points, or Nicha and Ucha positions, or Ucha and Nicha, I'm sorry. So we have to remember that Jupiter gets exalted in the 8th house for a Sagittarius ascendant in Cancer, and gets debilitated in the 2nd house in Capricorn for a Sagittarius ascendant. So what does this tell us? This tells us a lot that has to do with interpersonal relationship. What it says here is that Jupiter will have the best qualities to develop both its responsibilities, which is the body for a Sagittarius ascendant, and its emotions, through working with other people in the 8th, through working with the things of other people. It shows a strong potential to develop both ourselves and our emotions through others' resources and sudden ups and downs. And this might be a little contradictory, but supposedly with the Sagittarius ascendant, we just have to let go with other people, to work with other people. Other people will help develop our body. Other people will help develop our emotions through their resources, through their know-how. And also there is an esoteric aspect here. Sagittarius people should look into 8th house issues in terms of developing their emotions, developing their body, and also with working with the money, the property, the resources of other persons in order to develop themselves. Now, at the same time, Jupiter gets debilitated in the 2nd, and this is very interesting because the 2nd is the opposite of the 8th in terms of resources and in terms of responsibilities, and also in terms of our relation to our parents, our family, our extended family, more than anything else. So Jupiter gets debilitated in the 2nd, showing that at the same time, we should not pretend to take it all upon ourselves to develop our body, to develop our emotions as a sole responsibility to develop these things upon ourselves. You know, we have to take that cross and share it with other people. We have to take that burden of our emotions and ourselves and try to deal with them with other people and through sudden ups and downs and maybe some esoteric stuff also. So this combination shows that a Sagittarius Lagna person should look into working with other people, as I just mentioned. Now, certain things that are particular to the Sagittarius Lagna, we have to remember that Sagittarius Lagna is able to have a very strong Hamsa yoga. Hamsa yoga is one of the 5 Pancha Mahapurusha yogas, which are related to the 5 Tara planets. What is a Mahapurusha yoga? What is Hamsa yoga? It's very simple. Mahapurusha yogas are the combinations, the 5 combinations of great people. Hamsa yoga is the form of this yoga for Jupiter. And Hamsa means swan, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes, it means a swan, and at the same time, these Mahapurusha yogas are only for the Tara planets, which are the starry planets, which are obviously Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So if we have Jupiter, Swakshetra, or Mula Trikona in Lagna, we're going to have a very strong Hamsa yoga because it has directional strength, and at the same time, it's going to form a Raja yoga by being the first in the first and the fourth in the first, however you want to see it. But this is going to entail great wisdom in the person. So if you're a Sagittarius Lagna and you have Jupiter in the first, it's going to be great. And if you have it in the fourth, it's also going to be great because this creates the potential for a person to deal in a very effective way with the Jupiter issues, because Jupiter will have the tools to address its planetary agendas in a very efficient way. So there you have it. That's my video for Jupiter for a Sagittarius Lagna. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down here in the comments. And remember to subscribe if you haven't done to Asheville Vedic Astrology YouTube channel, and see you in the next video. Take care.